Hey everyone, welcome back. Truth be told, third time to the Retro Gamers Podcast, episode number 164. It is what it is now. Larry here.
And Anthony here.
We've congratulated each other twice already for being back on the same episode. And let's do it again.
You know what? Welcome back. I feel like we've skipped over Christmas and are now on Groundhog Day.
Basically, we went right to February. This is ridiculous. But we're back together. No co-host, no handheld episodes. It's like a homecoming week here on the Retro Gamers.
Yes, it is. It is just us. It's great to be back. It's great to just have you and me, and it's a very merry time of year. So
it is very festive and triumphant, and I am jolly because I am.
You got the Santa beard.
I'm starting to look like Santa. I'm starting to get to the size of Santa, which may or may not be good, but whatever. You had
a few too many ho-ho-hos?
I did. That's for a different
Or should
podcast.
I just say ho-hos? Sorry. That's what I meant. That's what I meant to say. I got one extra ho in there. Sorry.
No, I do have a Captain Ho-Ho. No, it's Captain Cupcake pop vinyl. Never mind. I forgot who the Ho-Ho hostess logo was because they put it out as pop vinyls.
Nice.
But I do have Captain Cupcake. You're rocking your ugly Christmas sweater.
I do. It's not that ugly. Come on, and it's Mario.
Oh, it is vomit inducing.
That is Merry Mario.
No, that's very cool. Actually, very nice. I couldn't find. I had one. I honestly don't know where it is. An ugly Christmas sweater. I think it got thrown out in between the move back in like April. So,
okay,
is what it is. I'll get one for next year.
Well, I mean, you should have something Christmassy.
I know. I honestly thought I did. Well, I got the snowman behind me here, so I got that going on.
And the beard. All right. It's kind
that
of a pass.
Too. I'm chubby, like Santa Claus, so that works. So
and on occasion you can be jolly.
On occasion, yes. Not that often anymore, but that's a whole nother story. And again, another podcast.
Yes.
But this is Christmas time. I love Christmas time. I feel the holiday though kicks off. I'm ignoring that. I feel the holiday.
That's Santa suing you for copyright infringement.
Probably. I'm just going through. This happened to me on the last episode too that I did.
Nice.
No, I don't want any. Okay, nope, I don't recognize the number. So, Christmas time, I feel like starts almost in October because everyone kicks in the holiday season with Halloween, which I don't get, but that's just me. But then they go straight to Christmas and everyone forgets about Thanksgiving. All those turkeys are eaten for naught at that point in my mind.
Well, no, I mean, I think everybody forgets about Thanksgiving because at the end of the day, we've boiled Thanksgiving down to an eating holiday where it's all about just eating a lot of food. So, the powers that be in the commercial world decided to take over November and December with Black Friday, but Black Friday and stores opening on Thanksgiving Day and pre-Black Friday sales going all the way to November 1st. So
really, I mean, honestly, you're right. I saw a lot. That's the new thing this year was the pre-Black Friday. It was nuts.
Yeah, everybody's getting a jump on things. They just they don't want to wait until Black Friday because they want to be first.
I mean, I took advantage of it, but yeah, it's crazy.
So did I.
Nutty time of year.
It's a nutty time of year for emptying your pocket.
Yes. Thank God for plastic. So,
yes.
During the Christmas season, probably next to like someone's birthday, at least growing up, because no one really buys me video games much anymore. Christmas was like the go-to day for holiday shopping and for the new listeners, and we hope we have new listeners, new watchers on YouTube, wherever you listen to podcasts, you can find the Retro Gamers. Me and Ant, we love doing this podcast. We've known each other for over 25 years, I believe at this point, or at 25 years actually. And
I make a mark on my arm every time.
Well, all those years ago when I was brought in on the yearbook team.
I regret it to this day.
Bah
humbug.
And with that, folks, there you go. That's why we've rarely record. No, I'm kidding. For the new listeners, we like on this podcast, me and Anthony really like doing this show for the reminiscing part. Me and Ant, we've never really said we were going to change how people think about the video game industry. We just want to be able to talk and remember the good old days growing up.
Yeah, and not only remember the good old days, but to talk about the memories we're making today. Just having this podcast, talking about video gaming, and sharing our experiences with gaming today as we play games of the present and the past. Because
Yeah,
let's face it, with the beauty of online, we can download everything at this point from yesteryear,
the
which is
world.
really.
Well, that too. And I was going to say the world is very small at this point because I'm in New York, you're in California, and here we are recording.
Yeah.
So,
and speaking of small world, I have a new listener story for you.
oh, okay,
So
cool. I like that.
yeah, so a few days ago, I was on my way to work. We were kind of, last week before our holiday break, which is always nice. I showed up at work, and one of my coworkers walks up to me, and he's like, "Hey," he's like, "You have a podcast." And I looked at him and I said, that's what he said to me. He's like, "You have a podcast." And I'm like, "Yes, I do have a podcast." I'm like, "Did somebody at work tell you about it or what?" He's like, "No." He's like, "I was talking to a friend of mine." He's like, "Because I'm a gamer." And a friend of mine said, he's like, "Oh," he's like, "If you like listening to podcasts," he's like, you should listen to this podcast. It's all about retro gaming. It's really cool." And he started listening to the podcast. He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "I started listening to the podcast." He's like, "Wait, I know that voice."
Wait a minute. Hold on, time out. So someone you work, well, first of all, the fact that you don't tell everyone on a daily basis you have a podcast, you just see me at work.
Yeah. I do not sell my podcast
Earthquake?
at work.
Yes. Oh God, do I ever. So a coworker of yours discovered our podcast from a friend of theirs who you have no idea who this friend is.
Nope, just random person.
That is awesome. It's the randomness that I love. That is sweet. Oh, yes.
Yeah, so I thought that was really cool, and we're gonna when I get back to the office in the new year, we're gonna grab lunch and chat because apparently he has a very impressive retro gaming collection as well.
Ooh, all right, there we go.
So should be interesting.
Yeah, we going into the new year, some new stuff we want to talk because I know a friend of mine who has again retro gaming. He loves about it, and I keep getting him to listen to the podcast, which he does. Maybe we can bring these people on to talk a little bit more about, their collections and stuff. So that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. So, Joe, if you're listening to this week's podcast, thank you for joining the Retro Gamers.
Yes, thank you very much. If you want our autographs, are $20 each.
I don't do
photos.
Autographs.
4 for 10. I do.
No,
I'll hand mine out in a heartbeat.
No, I was just going to say you'll pay somebody $20 to give you.
I may have, and I would have, yes. Mm-hmm. So very cool. All right, excellent. So, and if you listen to the podcast, that's it. Word of mouth. Share it on social media. Just tell the world about us, because this is a fun little podcast. So we enjoy it.
Yes,
so I was talking about, with Christmas time, Christmas season usually was the time to really take advantage as a child, take advantage of maybe, expanding your gaming collection if it wasn't birthday time. And I thought maybe we can talk a little bit about some stuff like holidays, some games maybe you remember getting, or just overall just fun times maybe with family, sitting around the Yule log, playing games or something. You can't sit around a Yule log, I guess, but
no. If you sit in it, it may hurt.
That too. That
may
too.
burn a little bit.
For me, memory wise, I got to admit, and I am fully aware of this, especially at 39 years old, being an only child, maybe my Christmas was a little more, condensed, meaning I didn't have to worry about fighting anyone else for Christmas gifts.
It's okay. You can use the S word.
No, I wasn't spoiled. I was far from being
Notice
spoiled.
how you went straight to that word.
I'm just saying.
There are a lot of S words in the dictionary, but you went right to spoiled.
Well, the other ones I've been called, so it is what it is. But so growing up, I did get a lot of games during that time, and some of my fondest memories was almost not every year, but that year if a new game system came out, I guess it's actually almost going to be a sad story as well. When a new video game system came out, lo and behold, I'd get it for Christmas. I was like, sweet. And even as time goes on, and kind of realize the spirit of Christmas and all, I kept getting these game systems. But honestly, my parents, they're the ones that never bought it for me. And I'm not saying that like, into my teens, I'm thinking, oh, Santa Claus is showing up. Though
I was just gonna say, if you're gonna tell me that Santa brought you those game systems.
I mean, I was a late bloomer, but as much as I talked about it on the Better Half, as
Mhm.
much as well, if kids listen to the podcast, cover your ears. As much as maybe Santa Claus, but I do believe in the spirit of Christmas and the
Mhm.
spirit of Santa, especially if you're a parent. I just feel like just something clicks. Anyway,
Well, anybody can believe in the spirit of Christmas. You just have to go down to the liquor store.
no. Well, if that's the case, then I'm going to be celebrating the spirit of Christmas all week, especially when my cousin shows up on Christmas Eve. So, I kept getting the systems. All right, cool, whatever it is. And then one year I didn't get a system, and I forgot
Mhm.
what was the big one that year. I can't remember what it was, but I didn't get a system. So I'm like, okay, it is what it is. It was also the same year my grandfather died. So then it finally clicked.
Mhm.
I was like, oh, he was the one that kept getting me the video game systems for Christmas. And then I'm like, oh, I guess I'm not getting a video game system for a little while unless I stop paying for it on my own.
Mhm.
So I
Welcome to the
do,
adult world.
yeah, honestly. So I do remember that. So Grandpa, thank you for all the systems that you did get me over the years.
Mm.
Because I was his only grandchild here in New York. So, but I always remember that, and when I play some of the old systems, I do think of him. I don't think you ever met him. Oh yeah, you did. My dad's dad.
Oh yeah, no, I met him.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if you met him, you can't forget him.
No, I
Um,
definitely do. I definitely do not.
so, so that's one of the good memories, especially now. Oh, who
Mhm.
just joined us? What happened?
Snow.
Oh,
Snow has
knocking things
decided
over and
to.
around.
Yeah, she wants to invade. Go ahead. Go ahead. Walk. Walk. Here's your tail.
Oh boy. So yeah, that was one of the
So,
big memories that I had, especially after the fact. So I thought that was pretty funny.
mhm. Yeah, it's funny. Like we were talking about this before we recorded. Began recording. I have the hardest time remembering. Well, not only did she shake this, but she managed to
Oh,
knock
she
the
knocked it
camera
all.
off. Yeah, she did some damage here.
Yeah, you
Uh,
may be off center there for a few moments.
yeah. Oh well. Let's just fix this really quickly, and huzzah!
All
So
right.
Um, so yeah, so I always have a hard time like not necessarily coming up with my Christmas memories, but coming up with my Christmas memories specific to video games because my birthday is later in the year. I used to get video game gifts for my birthday, which is at the end of
Mm-hmm.
October. So it's hard for me to remember which ones I got for my birthday, which ones I got for Christmas. One particularly that I remember was in the late, probably around like 80s, maybe 87, 88 ish. So going back about 32 years. But I remember it was
Ouch.
the reason why I know 1990 will be
Oh,
30 years ago in about a
oh,
week.
don't stop! No, no! Oh, yikes!
No.
Meanwhile, we're getting ready to hit 2020, and folks, I'm just going to call it out because we stopped 3 times already to do this. I'm fully aware that I'm lagging and my sound and my video is not matching up with me. But me and Ant, we're already this far in. We're just going to go
Yeah,
with this.
no,
So
we're rolling with it.
we're calling it.
So
So,
yeah, so this was somewhere in the late '80s, and I remember it because it was a very wrestling themed Christmas.
oh, okay,
Um,
sounds good to me.
and yeah, and I got a lot of wrestling figures. The large ones.
Oh, yes.
That were really cool. But the reason why I bring that up is because I also remember that one of the games I specifically got that year was WrestleMania for the NES.
Oh,
And if you
okay.
remember, yeah, and if you remember WrestleMania, it only at that time it was like the first wrestling game, first WWF wrestling game
Yep.
on the Nintendo, and
Do, do,
it,
do,
yeah,
do. Yep.
it was very basic. It only had 6 characters. For the most part, you can just punch and kick and pin. Um, I think it was heavily based off of the 1987 wrestlers because it was like
Oh,
Hogan,
yeah.
Andre, DiBiase, Savage. I think Bam
Bigelow.
Bam Bigelow was in there,
Yep.
and Honky Tonk Man. I think
Oh,
those were
yes,
the
that's right. It
six.
was. Yeah.
Those were the six. And I just remember, I mean, granted, when you go back and play the game now, hasn't aged well. Really bad.
No, no, no,
No,
no, no,
not at
no.
all. Really bad. But when you're a kid and you get that for Christmas and you're a huge wrestling fan, you played that game nonstop.
Oh,
And I
absolutely.
remember, What are you pulling out there? The game?
Yeah.
Oh, so I remember my
I have a video format. Might as well do something
yeah,
about it.
true. I remember my family, specifically my sisters, complaining on Christmas Day because there's the game, because I would not give up the television.
For such a terrible game in the long run, but we didn't know that back then.
Yeah, it
So
didn't matter because when you're a kid, you don't care how bad the game is. I mean,
no,
I can list a slew of horrible NES games I
of
owned
course,
when I was a kid because you
of
didn't know when you
course.
bought it. There was
No,
no internet to give you reviews.
nope. We just had to rely on friends and word of mouth.
Yeah,
You know,
basically.
funny you mentioned that game because that game also is the game responsible for a 16 or 17-year-old being fired from Toys R Us when
Yes.
he did not get me the game that my mother bought me. So
Yes.
that's a fun story we can tell later, another time.
I do
the
love that story. That is
the
an awesome
wrath
story.
the wrath of my mother getting people fired because I was unhappy. Oh boy,
You're,
talk
you're,
about only child.
your mother is a wonderful woman, but
She is.
and I definitely would not want to get on her bad side. Hi, Beth.
You're the second person to say that between her and my father. It's like I'd rather not mess with your mother. Frank said that the other day. I was
Mhm.
like, you're right. Um, no, that's pretty cool. And you're right. You know, especially for you, you're like you said, your birthday's near the tail end of Christmas. I can't imagine what it's like to have that birthday like in December and you celebrate whether it's Christmas or Hanukkah, whatever
Yeah.
you celebrate, and you know you get kind of get gypped out of a present. Like my godson is born on December 7th.
Mhm.
And you know, I mean, he's still young, you know, he's only 9. So of course he's gonna get a birthday present and a Christmas present, but eventually reality should be kicking in. And it's only really gonna be one condensed present soon. So, you know, at least mine's spaced out. I got March, so I'm pretty much good to go
Okay.
for a little while there. Another holiday Christmas that I do remember is getting yeah, it was Christmas because we all were at my grandmother's house way back when, and I remember for Christmas, so I'm opening the presents at my grandmother's. You know, the family's there, and again, I was the only kid there. I was the only grandchild. I was the first grandchild. My cousins weren't around yet, so I had nobody to talk to. So I'm opening my presents, and I remember my uncle got me. I opened it up, and it's a lunchbox, like an old
Okay.
school '80s plastic lunchbox. I don't remember who was on the cover, whether it was wrestling, video games, a movie, or whatever it was. So I'm like, oh, okay. And, you know, being polite, I'm like, oh, thank you. Because one time when I was little, someone gave me a present. I was like, oh, I don't want this. Oh boy, was I taught never to do that again.
Hmm.
So I was like, thank you. This is, you know, very nice. I open up the lunch boxes. There's a thermos in there for those of us who can remember now because it was so long ago.
Hmm.
The thermos inside. When I opened the lunchbox, there was a copy of Super Mario Brothers 2,
Ooh.
and then I
There you
flipped
go.
out. Oh yeah, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
boom! My head exploded.
Yeah.
Uh,
Lunchbox goes flying across
oh,
the
totally.
room.
Who needs this? Throwing it out. And meanwhile, still looking for a Nintendo that no one had.
Mhm.
But no, that was like one of my biggest surprises growing up, video game wise. There was a couple other Christmas ones, but video game wise, I remember that one. And I remember another story vividly. I'll tell real quick. And again, kind of featuring how, you know, my mom, if you cross her, she will get a little bit of revenge on you. So, and I've told this one before, but again, we have new listeners, and it's been 365 days. So, me and my dad were downstairs in the basement. That's where our living room was.
Mhm.
Watching TV was what it was. So I was going upstairs. I think probably getting ready to go to sleep. And when I was going upstairs, it was Christmas Eve. And when I went upstairs, my mom was in the kitchen or in the dining room wrapping presents, and I caught her wrapping a Sega CD.
Ooh.
And I was not. Were you a snooper? Were you a snooper during Christmas?
No, only
No.
once. Only once.
Why once? What were you
Uh,
looking for?
no,
Or did your sister hire you to try and find something?
no. I never liked knowing ahead
Yeah.
of time what I was gonna get. And again, because it's just look. That part of the fun is the surprise of it
Of
all.
course.
The only time I snooped was for WWF Raw for Super Nintendo.
Oh, I awesome. I love it.
Yeah, because not only did I snoop to find it, but I also talked my mother into giving it to me on December 4th when I found it.
Oh my God, that's even worse. It's one thing to find it and then okay, even if you crack open the wrapping a little bit, but you made her.
No, well, you know what? It was her fault. She didn't wrap it. Okay, it was still in the bag.
Where was it? I'm not saying specifically. Like, was it deep hidden?
I mean, it was just like right in her closet. It wasn't that hard to find.
Mom probably just threw it in the closet.
Like, in the closet on the floor. She always kept the shopping bags, and it just so happened that it was right there, the Toys R Us bag, and I'm like, oh look, raw. I believe I also got Lion King that year, so
well, that's cool.
It was 94, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
but all I did was I just talked to her. I said, look, I promise you, I'm going to play it past Christmas. I was like, can I just have it now? And of course, her response was, well, don't get mad. She's like, well, don't get mad. You're not going to have as many presents. And I'm like, I don't care. I was like, I just want it now.
That is amazing. And I can picture that whole thing going down.
But the bottom line is, I got it on December 4th. And I must have played that game for at least a year.
Oh, I was going to say, it would be funny if you beat it on Christmas Eve and be like, all right, done.
Well, in wrestling games back then, there really was nothing to beat. You just played.
But then you were like, I'll play it past Christmas, but you get to Christmas Eve, you're like, I'm done.
Actually, I remember that Christmas specifically. It was Raw, Lion King, and I think the Power Rangers game for. I think it was the Power Rangers game.
That should have been a good one, yeah.
Yeah, it was great. I beat it in 30 minutes and didn't know what to do afterwards.
There you go. Just return it. Yeah. So like with the Sega CD, so when I saw my mom wrapping it, I was like, well, first of all, I was kind of confused because I'm like, wait, no, Sega CD came out in 94. Maybe I shouldn't have been confused or came out around then. Anyway, so I saw her wrapping it, bottom line, and I kind of slunk back downstairs and my dad's like, why aren't you going upstairs? I'm like, nothing. Like I don't know why I just didn't tell him I saw mom wrapping the gifts. He's like, and then now he's like, go upstairs and go to bed. I'm like, can I just wait a few minutes? And he's probably like, no, go to bed. So now I go up and I think I tried to sneak past her, but I think she caught me. So I'm like, all right, I go in my room. Next night, full sleep. Next day, Christmas. Unwrapping everything. Oh, and then also, remember, no, I don't have one. But remember, like at one point I was able to tell by the shape of the box what the games were and what other things were. Mm-hmm. So I'll gravitate to the games first, and I started wrapping them. Later on, my parents put them in the different boxes, so to throw me off the scent. But when I was done wrapping, I opened up the last gift, and there was no Sega CD. So now I'm like, uh-oh, do I say something? So now I'm just sitting there. Do I call her out on it, or do I just be like, okay, Merry Christmas, thank you? And I just kind of sat there pretending I was selling it. I probably was doing a bad job. But I was selling it like, okay, I got all my presents. Yay. And my mom's like, it's under the couch. Nice. So I went over and grabbed it. And I think she stopped. It was like half wrapped. I think she was done wrapping it at that point.
Well, you saw it. That's it. Too bad.
I was so mad that I saw it. And then it was like.
Mad about you. You were going to get it the next day.
Yeah, still. Meanwhile, this Christmas, me and my parents, because it's only the three of us, we just basically like, to each other, get me that. I'd like that for Christmas. Get me that for Christmas. So we picked what we want and just told the other ones to buy it. That's all of us did that. So
I do that every year with my family because if they don't tell, I tell them all the time. I go, if you don't tell me what you want, you're getting a gift card.
And there ain't a dang thing wrong with a gift card, people. I'm telling you right now.
No, there isn't. No, there isn't. I mean, as I've gotten older, I've become more accustomed to the fact of, look, I'm not going to run around and try and guess what to get somebody. And I don't want to get somebody something that they may not like. So I'd rather entrust them with, look, here's a gift card. Go pick out whatever you want and enjoy it. I know for a long time, I thought it was impersonal. But at this point, I'm like, especially with adults, like, my sisters, we're all grown up and everything like that. It's like, I don't know what you need. I was like, maybe you need a sweater. Maybe you need pants. Maybe you need pots and pans. I don't care. I was like, here, go get them. I was like, don't make me guess.
And not even doesn't have to be for me at least, it doesn't have to be like a Visa gift card or a Best Buy gift card. I'll take a 3-month subscription for the WWE Network. I'll take a PlayStation card. I'm good with those. I'm not going to complain. Hint. So, because this does drop on Christmas. Oh, ouch, ouch. So yeah, so Christmas, and the other things I remember about Christmas is that whole kind of getting together and with the new games, playing them, well, my parents would just watch me play. I know everyone in your family kind of got together to play some games and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
I think Tetris may have been a Christmas gift that I did not play as much as my family did.
Thank you for this gift. Why are you taking it away from
Yeah,
me?
thank you for this gift. Can I get a turn?
And then for me, just one more memory that I'll always remember, and it's kind of funny because I haven't been there in years. I'm dying to go back. So my dad at work, Christmas bonus,
Mm.
and he would get a Christmas bonus at the end of the year, and that was the big trip. And I grew up, well, we both grew up in Brooklyn, and I remember that was the trip during like a week before Christmas, or maybe a week after. We would travel all the way. It felt like miles and hours away, probably because of traffic, to the Staten Island Mall.
Ooh,
Oh yeah, because you only get so much out of King's Plaza,
that is true.
especially nowadays. So we go all the way to the Staten Island Mall, and that was the day I was able to pick two video games to get in the same day, which was, mind blowing back then. Especially seeing some of these ads that you've posted some ads on the Facebook page. Other
Yeah,
people post some old ads.
I
I
love
don't
the ads.
I don't remember tangent. Here we go. I don't remember games being like $80, $90. Do
No,
you
neither.
remember this?
No, I don't remember it, but I don't. As kids, I don't think it was our job to look at the prices.
No, but I do. Well, no, like NES games. I don't. The only why I figured it was pricey is because again, if we went and it was like my birthday or a special occasion,
Mhm.
I was only able to buy one game.
Right.
Christmas, it was a big deal to buy two games. But I do remember like Super NES or even N64 being in like the 60s and $70 price range.
Yeah.
But like I remember, I don't know if you posted it or someone else posted it. It was like
Yeah.
Donkey Kong Country or something was like $80 new. This
Yeah.
was brand new in the 90s.
Yeah. I think what happened was specific games because they were using, I don't know, larger memory or something like Donkey Kong Country. I think was one of those games that had to use a larger memory chip.
Super FX chip, maybe.
Right. Whatever it was, like we wound up paying for it on our end. Like for me, the first system that I remember where games became regularly $60 was the N64. Up until that point, I think the general price for any game was 50.
Actually, even I think N64 may even been like regularly, maybe even like $70. I think
Possibly.
I think so. I think especially like Zelda or something.
Yeah, because I
Um,
remember when I got my N64, I'm like, geez, I go, these games are expensive because
yeah.
I got the two launch games, which were
Mhm.
Super Mario 64 and Pilot Wing 64.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I mean, the $80, $90 ones, like I think Mortal Kombat was one of those expensive
yes,
ones.
yes, that's
It's like,
right. Yeah.
yeah, and yeah, I do not remember that at all. But then again, like I said, at that point, I wasn't buying for myself, so
No,
I wasn't paying
agreed.
attention. Just like, oh,
Agreed.
I want that one.
Gimme, gimme, gimme.
Gimme.
So yeah, so the big Staten Island Mall trip, definitely always remember. And that was the big two game day, so that always worked out well. But yeah, that's what it is. Christmas nowadays. We both have nephews. You have some nieces, but I don't know if they're into gaming. I'm not a nephew, but a godson, and his brother really big into gaming. So as much as I don't have, nor do I want any children. Again, another podcast. I'm very happy though to be able to purchase some games for my godson, for his brother. In fact, I have a copy of, because they don't listen to the podcast. I have a copy of what I get them, Super Monkey Ball, the new one,
Mm, okay.
for the Xbox. I wanted to get it on Switch, but they were sold out. Actually, it was crazy.
Oh,
Because the one on Switch, you can get Sonic in it. It's like
that's
an
cool.
exclusive, yeah. But I got it on Xbox, and then I got the family a copy of Let's Sing Country,
Oh,
because they
okay.
love country music. So I got
Okay.
them that, and they'll enjoy it.
Did
And
you get
signs
them?
of
Did you
yeah.
get them earplugs to go with it?
I won't be in the house, so I don't care. And what's cool about the Let's Sing, again, here's the modern technology. Xbox version comes with two microphones, but if you want, you can also use your cell phone
Oh, that's
as
cool.
as an input. So I thought that
Nice.
was pretty cool. Yeah. But yeah, that's
Very
actually I got
fun.
to wrap those gifts. So
Yeah, and my nephew, both of my nephews are into games. You know, they're young. I mean, one is
mhm.
Wait, where are we at age wise?
Oh.
One is 9, and the other is I want to say 14. Yeah.
Oh my God, 14. I know who you're talking about too.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
So the 14-year-old is still into Pokemon.
Okay.
So he's really cool, but he's also into the trading cards. So I
Wow.
got
Okay.
yeah. So he's gonna love his gift because I got him a box of one of the new Pokemon trading card sets.
Cool.
So he'll have fun unwrapping those. And then my nephew, though, my other nephew, my 9-year-old nephew, he loves Roblox, which is it's like one of those things. So my sister's like, get him a Roblox gift card. I'm like, I don't want to get him a gift card. He's 9, But she's like, no, he really wants Roblox stuff. I was like, all right, fine, whatever. And I think that's what I. No, wait, I didn't get him that. I got him toys. Anyway, whatever. The bottom line is he does play games.
There you go. So the new generation will continue on. We will continue to show them old games that they will continue to reject and play all this new stuff. Yeah, honestly. So let us know your Christmas memories on Instagram, Instagram at Retro Gamers Podcast, Facebook at Retro Gamers Podcast, Twitter at Retro Gamers Pod. Of course, you can email us as well. Email to retrogamers.com. We'll tell you all that at the end of the episode as well. But we definitely want to hear some of your holiday traditions. Hanukkah, Christmas, Kwanzaa,
Boxing Day.
There we go. That too. Those Canadians, they get crazy. Forget about it.
Yes.
They love their Boxing Day and they celebrate Thanksgiving way early. So, but let us know. We want to hear from you.
All right, Larry, it wouldn't be Christmas without a retro birthday, and you may not think there are retro birthdays on Christmas, but there have been games that have released on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day.
Really? Christmas Day? I mean, I can kind of get Christmas Eve, but not Christmas Day. All right, let's see what we got.
Now, granted, the Christmas Day ones are releases in Japan, not necessarily in the States.
Oh, okay. All right.
So we'll put it that way.
Fair enough.
And just to share a handful of these. So Christmas Eve in 1988 in Japan, so 31 years ago, they released Mega Man 2.
Oh, wow.
So they actually got that on Christmas Eve. I think we got it a little bit later. We always used to get the games later than that. Yeah. But so Mega Man 2 came out on Christmas Eve. Mm-hmm. On Christmas Day, and these I picked out because they're just fun to.
Yeah, sure.
So on Christmas Day, Sonic the Hedgehog was released in 2005 on the J2ME.
Well, I don't even know what that is. Okay.
The J2ME was I think it was one of those handheld. Wasn't that one of those handheld phone game?
Oh, probably kind of like the Taco, whatever it was.
Yeah, whatever that thing was.
The Nokia. No, what was that thing called?
It was the. I want to say Lynx, but that's Atari.
G something.
Yeah, whatever it is, one of those. So the J2ME was one of those.
That's gonna bug me now. Okay, cool.
And they released Sonic on there. In 1999, on Christmas Day in Japan, for the N64, they got Castlevania: Legacy of Darkness.
Oh, sorry. All right, that was a rough Christmas, apparently.
Apparently. Bad time to be in Japan. And then in 1989, on Christmas Day.
Okay.
And this is a throwback. I had to mention this because we haven't mentioned this in a while. 1989, Super Hang-On was released on the Sharp X68000.
Oh, wow, that is a blast from the past, folks. The Sharp 60. Where I was just looking at something like that too. And I was like, oh, that's the Sharp X68000. Wow, that's cool. All right,
we haven't brought that up in a while. So. But those are just a handful of games that were released on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Again, most of them were released in Japan. Here in the States, they didn't drop games on Christmas Day, except now in the age of digital downloads. I think Super Mario Brothers on the Wii, the original Super Mario Brothers, was released on Christmas Day back in 2005 or 6. But it's easier to drop things digitally on Christmas Day. But there were some actual physical games released. Granted, you had to go to Japan to get them, but. That's what it is, and that is this week's very merry retro birthdays.
All right, so we are going to get ready to start to wrap this up. We had some things to talk about because it is Christmas time. And first, I just want to mention, because, with Christmas comes shopping for either yourself or loved ones. In that case, I was going to say that's one and the same for me. And I did pick up, I don't have them with me right now. My friend's actually borrowing them for his kids. But nice. I picked up 3 homebrews from Game On.
Ooh.
And I got to say, I played them and they are fantastic. So one of them is, and they're all for Genesis and they all work on an original Genesis console.
Okay.
So that's what we played it on. First one is the arcade port, if you will, of Fix-It Felix Jr.
Oh, wow.
From the movie.
That's awesome.
And they did make actual arcade cabinets.
Yes.
When the movie came out of Fix-It Felix Jr., the actual game in the game. This one done on Genesis, I mean, it's phenomenal. It's the voices. What is it? John C. Reilly, and I forgot who played Fix-It Felix. The one from 30 Rock. You know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Anyway, so their voices, like in the game, I'm gonna wreck it, I can fix it, and the game runs smooth too for a homebrew. So that was pretty cool. And then I picked up two variants, if you will, of Streets of Rage 2.
Ah, yes, I did see those.
Yes, one is the Ninja Turtles edition, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which runs pretty cool. Yeah, all it is, they just replace the characters with the Ninja Turtles. The Ninja Turtles do have their moves, but that's like there's no pizza in the game or anything like that. But still, it's pretty cool.
Okay.
The opening's the same, just niche. But the other one, the guy who coded this other one, he went further into it. It's Streets of Rage 2, The Simpsons edition.
Mm-hmm.
And first of all, not only do you play as the Simpsons, which is basically their sprites from the Simpsons arcade game, but like on the character select screen, you can select like 25 different characters. Like the person loaded in almost all the enemies in the game, plus because I think he replaced the final boss with Mr. Burns and Smithers and stuff like that.
Oh, nice.
And the opening text, instead of being all the opening text from Streets of Rage, literally it's like blah, 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 blah. It literally says blah, 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 blah. It's got like a yellow tone to it to match the Simpsons.
Nice.
So that one is really cool. Even has like a little bit of the Simpsons theme in it. So that one went a little bit further. So I picked up those three and they work perfectly. So I cannot wait one day, hopefully in 2020, to get the Poly Mega so that I can play these games and actually stream them as well at some point.
All right. Very cool.
I picked that up. And we're going to talk about sales in a moment. The one I want to talk about, because I know Anthony usually has all the details about the sales and everything. One I want to talk about, I don't know if it's still going on at the time that this drops. But on the Switch, and I think it was for the PlayStation and Xbox as well, but I got these on the Switch. There's a series of arcade games called Johnny Turbo's Arcade.
Okay.
We've talked in the past, about arcade ports from on the Nintendo, Super Nintendo. It was never like a true arcade representation. Best example for me, Turtles 2, the arcade game.
Yes.
So, the graphics a little different. And for Nintendo, you had to add two different levels. It was some weird rule that they had. So, it was a long time before we got true arcade copied games. I'm talking of the old games. The Dreamcast helped with newer ones. This Johnny Turbo's Arcade, though, these games, I mean, they are straight from the arcade. They are awesome copies of games, and they normally sell for like $8. They were on sale for $2 each.
Oh, wow.
One of them was like $1.75 for some reason. And, some that we've heard of, like there's one called Super Burger Time. I guess it's like a sequel to Burger Time.
I know you don't like Burger Time.
I do not like Burger Time at all.
I love Burger Time.
But they also have Caveman Ninja, which is basically Joe and Mac. If you remember that game.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Yep. Joe and Mac Returns, which if you have the Super NES collection on the Switch, you actually have that. Joe and Mac 2 is on there. But the ones I picked up, which is basically all of them. There's not a lot of them, but for $2 each, I picked up Bad Dudes versus Dragon Ninja, which we got as Bad Dudes. Gate of Doom, and Wizard Fire, I think are sequels to each other. They kind of play like Diablo. Okay. That style. Sly Spy, Two Crew Dudes, Shootout, Breakthrough, Heavy Barrel, Super Real Darwin, Nitro Bowl, Express Raider, and then one I didn't pick up because it was a fighter. I just wasn't interested in it. Fighter's History. Oh, so, cool. So not bad. Very good. Hopefully, if the sale's still going on, I recommend to pick them up. Great quality arcade games.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then flipping over to my side of things, in terms of shopping, every time I travel for work, I always pick up a couple of games for the Switch to entertain myself on my very long flights, or in this case, the 8 flights I took in 7 days.
Oh my God, that's a whole nother story. Yes, I love it.
That's a story I care not to tell anymore.
I want to know about the taxi.
Oh, no, you don't. I don't want to. I don't want to know about the taxi, and yet it happened. So anyway, I always buy a couple of games for the Switch to play while I'm on the flights because I'm flying for like 20 hours or whatever the hell it is, or 15. So on the Switch, I picked up a couple of digital downloads. One was called Thimbleweed Park, I believe.
Oh yes, yeah, that is a kind of a homage, if you will, to Maniac Mansion.
Yeah, it's one of those point and click games. And it's basically like there's a murder in Thimbleweed Park, and you're the investigators, the detectives trying to figure it out. Mm-hmm. And it feels like it's got a little of a Mulder and Scully vibe from X-Files with the two characters. Like, she's super sarcastic and doesn't want the partner, and he's like this overly enthusiastic like new detective who wants to solve this thing. And then of course it's a town full of creepy people, so it's like Twin Peaks and X-Files. But I'm only a little bit into it, but it's really fun. The interactions are funny.
Cool.
Yeah, the lines are good. It's a cool little game. The other game that I played and actually completed though during my travels was another game called Crossing Souls.
Ooh, I never heard of that one.
And it's basically, and the reason why I bought it is because it's an homage to the 80s, and it's about these 5 kids that find. It's very interesting how the story kind of unravels like a bunch of 80s movies that they put together to make the story. So this kid says he found a dead body, and they go find the dead body, like Stand By Me, but the dead body's got this item on it. And what the item does is it allows you to see the spirit world. And then there's this evil Russian guy who wants to get his hands on this thing, so the kids are trying to keep it from him. And again, it's like all the references in it are 80s. It's like just and you see all these little things. And I bought it specifically for the homage, but it was a cool little game. Very basic in terms of the battle gameplay and stuff like that. But the story itself was actually surprisingly fun. Depressing at times because you're dealing with the spirit world, and I don't want to give away anything that happens in the game.
Okay,
but it was definitely worth buying and playing through. Like, I really enjoyed the story, and story is one of the main points of a successful game. So for anybody who wants to play something, and it's only like maybe 6 or 8 hours worth of time.
Oh, that's not bad.
So it's not terribly long, but really, really fun.
You mentioned terribly depressing sometimes. I failed to mention probably one of the most depressingest levels was a Christmas level in a video game. I think I've talked about this before. Elite Beat Agent on DS, and it's a rhythm game, and you play to the music. And it was Chicago's "You're My Inspiration." I think it was Chicago who sang that.
Yes.
You're my inspiration.
No. We've talked about this. No,
it's Christmas. Let me do it. It's Christmas.
No.
Anyway, so when
your voice is not the gift that keeps on giving.
Wow. Oh, holy night. That's like Homer Simpson. So in the game,
the only person who sings that well is Cartman.
That is true. Yeah. something presents. So in the level you're playing, and as you play the game, the story unravels on the top screen, and if you mess up, it goes awry. But long story short, you're playing the game. The father goes off on a meeting. It's Christmas a year. You don't realize it's a year later. They're baking cookies, and the daughter's like, "Is Dad coming home this week?" And Mom's like, no. And then you realize it was a plane crash. He died. And as you play the game, he's like coming back to her. But if you screw up the game, he goes away. It's terribly, it messes with you.
Okay. I kind of want that game now.
Oh man. You can pull it up on YouTube. Just search Elite Beat Agents, You're My Inspiration, and it'll show, like the full run of it. I played it. I'm like sitting there. I'm like, can't get my salty tears on the DS. Oh my God. It was so depressing. And the version of it is a very somber version of the song's somber to begin with, but You got to check it out on YouTube.
Okay.
It's terribly depressing.
I will definitely check that out. But anyway, getting back to sales.
Yes.
I've been again.
What Christmas is all about.
What Christmas is about: buying stuff, and for yourself. So I bought those 2 games for the Switch. Crossing Souls I finished. I'm working on Thimbleweed Park now, which is really cool. And I have granted this episode drops the day after I arrive in New York, but I have a flight. Yes. I have a flight to play it on, tomorrow. The PlayStation 4 has been very interesting. They've been dropping sales since Black Friday. There was a Black Friday sale, there was a Cyber Monday sale, and now there's a holiday sale. It's like...
No, there's one more after that. I don't know if you saw it.
Which one?
There's a holiday sale, and then there's a year-end sale.
Oh, God. As much as I say I can't handle it, I just keep buying games anyway.
But it's not like the price keeps dropping on the same game. They just might as well just
put every game on sale. So anyway, so the PlayStation 4 sale is up and going, all 20 of them. And you can go save some things. You save 40%, 50%, 60%, whatever it is that you look for. But there are some really solid games on sale. For example, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, which just came out. They dropped by $10.
All right, not bad.
So it's $50. Death Stranding, which also just came out a couple months ago, was $40. Marvel's Spider-Man Game of the Year Edition is $20. Now,
I know you keep telling me.
If you have not played this game, you owe it to yourself. For $20, you get all of the DLC and everything. I just hit 100% on the game, on the regular.
Oh, okay,
I haven't played the DLC game. But let me tell you something. This game is by far and away one of the best games I have ever played. Beautiful. Graphics are amazing. The story is unbelievable. Everything about it, awesome.
I've never heard you praise a game so much as you do the Spider-Man game, in all honesty.
It makes me want to be Spider-Man.
Any of us could be. I'm more of a Doc Ock, I think, kind of guy, but...
No, I think I can... Well, as you can see, I can rock the red. So,
this is true. This is true. Can you wear a mask?
Yes, I can wear a mask.
Well,
but can I... I can wear the mask. Can I be in shape to be Spider-Man?
Maybe. Well, you're better shape than I am. I'll tell you that much. I was going to say, though, when you used to wear your glasses, that would have been a little tough. You have the mask on and then the glasses over it.
Well, that'd be awesome. I can be like a visually impaired Spider-Man.
Bionicle.
I just swing into buildings.
Or was it bike? I got you. That's the child. Whatever.
It's like, you're safe. I'm the bad guy. Oh, crap. Oops. Anyway, so Spider-Man, if you haven't played it, get it. The remake for Resident Evil 2 is down to $20, or the deluxe edition is only $23.
Ooh. All right, extra $3. Why not?
Yeah, so if you don't have that, I bought RE2 on Black Friday. Okay. Red Dead Redemption 2 Ultimate Edition is normally $100. It's down to $40.
There you go.
Something to look at. I think I also saw the Crash Bandicoot trilogy was on sale. Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled is $24. Mortal Kombat 11 is $24. Let's see what else. Rocket League is $10. Again, I'm just flipping through stuff right now.
That's not bad. Not bad at all.
No, it's not bad at all. WWE 2K20 is $30. Yuck.
Should have been.
It should be free. That game is a disaster. But Final Fantasy 15 is also on sale.
The remake, not the remaster.
Yeah, the remake. Okay. Final Fantasy 8, the re-release, whatever you want to call it, is on sale. Yeah. So bottom line is, go check out the sale on PS4 if you have one. You can find a lot of current games and retro games on there that are on sale. So definitely check those out.
Definitely. And you know what? I'm going to give a shout out for the few of us who have a Google Stadia right now. If you're part of the Pro, and I got someone's online that I'm friends with who's playing Rise of the Tomb Raider. All right. Some sales going on there. Shadow of the Tomb Raider, $60 down to $24. Grid, which I believe is a Stadia exclusive. The base game, $60 down to $24. The bundle, $85 down to $34. It's not bad.
Oh, nice. I'm just trying to find some more sales.
Yeah. Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Breakpoint on Stadia is $30. That's half price. Mm-hmm. Including the Ultimate Editions are half price as well. And Borderlands 3 A little less than half, but definitely on sale. So check those out. And Just Dance, which if we all remember, Just Dance 2019,
Oh yeah.
top selling system for Just Dance was the Switch. The second top selling system was the Wii in the UK.
Hey, look, people are still getting it on the Wii.
So definitely check that out. Of course, I'm still waiting to see what the free games in January are for Stadia. I'm afraid to buy anything just in case they become free.
Yes.
What happened with Tomb Raider? But I'm dying to play. I can't wait to get Farming Simulator going. Actually, that was free.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm not on the Stadia bandwagon yet. So
No, it's hey, look, it's everyone's different, and I like it for the whole digital part of it. But yeah, it's going to take a little while to get its feet under them. So
yeah. Did we also talk about not necessarily sales, but just something to bring up? I think we posted it on our page, but I don't know if we mentioned it. But the Resident Evil 3 Nemesis is now getting.
Oh, no, we didn't talk about it.
Yeah,
no,
it's now getting a remaster. That's going to be awesome.
Yes. I saw the trailer. I think you saw the trailer as well. It looks fantastic. Nemesis just is going to look freaky in HD.
Yes.
Or 4K at this point. And I liked Resident Evil 3. Liked it, but it got on my nerves because of Nemesis constantly coming after you, like we talked about.
Yes.
So I don't know what that's going to look like in 4K.
I don't know. I think it's going to be fun. And then now there's I don't know if it's a rumor or if they've confirmed that Silent Hill is. There's a rumor that it may be getting a remake.
I'm going to say rumor for now. Nothing official yet, but it's down the pike. So It's got to be at some point.
Yeah, so I really hope they do because that game's amazing.
Yes, it was. Is that it on the sales? Anything else happening there?
That's all. I mean, again, it's end of the year. Pretty much everything digitally, everything is on sale. So go check out your systems. See any games that you've been holding off on. Now might be the time to pull the trigger.
Absolutely.
I've added a number of games to my collection that will stay shrink wrapped forever. So because that's what I do.
Well, like I said, I bought a ton of those arcade games for the Switch that I'm loving.
Yeah.
So getting that going, and I picked up. I didn't pick up. Maybe just to mention real quick as well. Speaking of the Switch, because it's on the classic side of things.
Yep.
6 games were added. 4 Super Nintendo games, 2 NES games were added to the collection.
Ooh, nice.
On the Nintendo Switch Online. The 4 Super Nintendo. I'm doing this off the top of my head, so forgive me. The 4 Super Nintendo are Breath of Fire 2. I want to say a Kirby game, like the 6 All-Star one or whatever it is. And then 2 others I don't remember. So, but on the NES, there's I want to say it was Crystalis, it's called.
Okay.
Yes. And Journey to Silius, which if you haven't played that game,
I've never played that.
It is awesome. Me and Mario, a friend of ours, he's been on the show a few times. He just happened to have a copy of it. And we were playing, and I've never heard of the game before. It's got like a Terminator feel to it because I think it was originally supposed to be a Terminator game, but then the license was lost. But it's a side scroller, and it's such a sleeper hit. Almost, I'm going to dare say, in my opinion, as Solomon's Key was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, almost. But it's available now on the Switch. Go play it. The game is difficult, but it is very fun. So cool. That one, I highly recommend. And I life means going to bond with the other 2 Nintendo games are Super Nintendo games. I mean, but hey, if you got a Switch, go check it out because check
it out. But yeah, I mean, but getting back to the sales and everything like that, there are just so many going on right now. Just check it out. I picked up a few on PS4. The only one that I'm remembering right now is Little Nightmares. Okay. It's a cool little horror game. If you've played Limbo or Inside, it's similar to those games.
Okay.
And it's cool. It's creepy little kid in a raincoat that you're controlling, walking around, and there's this weird giant monster guy.
That's not odd at all.
No, it's not strange at all. Yeah, for look, give your 6-year-old something really special. A frightening game on your PlayStation.
Just tell them about Krampus, and we'll call it a day.
I would love to have a Krampus video game.
Maybe. I'm sure there is. There's got to be one somewhere.
Steal the Children.
Oh, it's like a Denmark thing or something. I forget what it was from.
Yeah. A German?
Probably. Wouldn't surprise me. Yeah. So with that, folks, I think we're going to land the reindeer. We're going to park this one on the roof, and I don't know, all the Christmas
and
stuff.
get stuck in the chimney.
Yeah. Oh, poor Santa.
Mm.
But he has a magical key. That's how he gets into the apartments. If you watch Christmas Eve on Sesame Street,
he goes down the chimney. That's what he's supposed to do.
Poor Big Bird was sitting there watching the chimney because Santa wouldn't be able to fit down it.
That's very true. He wouldn't. And if you watch Gremlins, you'll hear a great story about Santa not fitting down the chimney.
Oh, Frank hates that story. So, all right. So with that, we're going to end it up here. Remember, folks, Instagram, Facebook at Retro Gamers Podcast, Twitter at Retro Gamers Pod. And where can they email us and find us elsewhere?
They can email us at theretrogamers.com or check out our website, theretrogame.com. We don't really use our Twitter, do we?
I'm trying to boot it up again.
Right. So. I am awful at Twitter. I'm basically the Facebook guy.
Fair enough. Yep, I'm the Instagram guy.
Oh, and really quickly, I need to give a quick shout out to somebody because this is a very special moment for me. It may not be video game related, but it's Christmas related.
Oh, still.
I need to give a shout out to my friend Christine, who after 2.5 years, I finally convinced her that Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
Why would it not be a Christmas movie? It takes place on Christmas Eve.
And she was so adamant about it not being a Christmas movie that she literally posted on Facebook, Die Hard is not a Christmas movie, fight me. And all of her friends ganged up on her.
There you go. Oh, you don't love peer pressure.
Christine, I'm so happy you've come around to Die Hard being a Christmas movie. And you know, just because I gave you the Die Hard Christmas book for Christmas didn't help. But it was very good. I logicked her into it because I basically asked her, is Home Alone a Christmas movie? And she looked at me and she gave me this little side eye and she's like, damn it, I know what you're doing. And I'm like, because by your logic, Home Alone would not be a Christmas movie because it's just about a kid getting left home alone, protecting his house from robbers. It just so happens that it's at Christmas. Die Hard is a movie where a building gets taken over by terrorists. It just so happens to be at Christmas. So if Home Alone is a Christmas movie, then Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Case closed. Anybody out there who listens to us, if you don't think Die Hard is a Christmas movie, too bad. You're wrong.
It's not Christmas until Hans Gruber falls off the roof.
That is correct. And I really want him to. I want to get a Hans Gruber to fall off my tree, like hanging.
Yes. Didn't they also have the Christmas? Someone made the Christmas ornament of Bruce Willis crawling through the ducks.
No. That's a legitimate Christmas.
Oh, is it? Oh, I thought someone just made it. Oh,
I actually saw somebody online also. They did a tree topper of Nakatomi Plaza.
That is fantastic. Please tell me it was on fire.
It was. They had little fire on top, and then they had Hans hanging out the window.
Well, let me tell you. I mean, one of us worked in Nakatomi Plaza for a little while. The actual Nakatomi Plaza did get a little weird during Christmas time, just in case. Memories of years past.
No, we were good. We had. Damn it. I'm trying to remember his name now. All of a sudden, we always had what's his name, Sergeant Al Powell in the lobby protecting us, so we're good.
Al Powell, there's a pull. Good Lord. All right, folks, we're going to end it. Happy Hanukkah, happy Kwanzaa, Merry Christmas.
Kwanzaa, everybody.
There you go. Happy everything. And I'm actually going to see you in a couple of days, which is very nice.
Yes, our next episode that we record will be together.
Yes, finally together.
We don't got to worry about this audio delay through Skype.
No, not at all, but I'll see if I can somehow screw it up. Mm-hmm. And folks, with that, we will catch you on the last episode of the year next week. Mm-hmm. Yes, on the Retro Gamers Podcast.